Okay, welcome to another segment of the Women in Publishing Summit. I'm your host, Alexa Bigwarf, and today, right now, I am here with Cindy Tyler, who is the CEO of Vervante Publishing. If you watched the summit at all last year, you should be somewhat familiar with Vervante. They were our platinum sponsor last year. They've returned as a gold level sponsor this year, and we are really excited to bring Cindy back to talk about her company, Vervante. So a little bit about Cindy. She's the founder and owner of Vervante, which is a publishing and distribution company with a 17-year track record. The Vervante team provides services for authors and infopreneurs, I love that, to create and distribute books and a wide variety of products quickly and easily. Best of all, they do so without any hidden fees or hassle. At the lowest point of the economic downturn in early 2000s, Cindy launched Vervante on the hunch and a strong belief that on-demand publishing was a trend gathering great speed, which was a super hunch. And if she has a hunch about something, you should probably follow it because she seems to have some psychic ability. The team at Vervante is proud to serve the publishing needs of world-class authors, infopreneurs, and corporations who trust Vervante to publish and distribute their books and coaching materials. So that's the official intro. Thank you so much, Cindy, for being part of this summit again. And thank you for sponsoring and helping us bring this to life.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what she doesn't mention in her bio that I have discovered over a couple of years of knowing her is that she's a mother. She was a single mom and CEO of this amazing company that she built from the ground by herself. So, I love to feature that as well, that this is what women are doing. They're taking their talents and building these amazing things and helping other women produce their books and do the same and fulfill this dream. So that's really amazing. One of the things that we talked about last year, which I will have last year's presentation up so that people can refer back to that because we talked about a lot of great stuff, was the importance of first-time authors really having a bit more control over what happens with their book sales and how Vervante can help you publish through Amazon, but in a way that you actually get email addresses and more control and more royalties. So definitely go check out last year's interview. But this year, we're going to focus on something a little bit different because her company also produces all of these amazing print products that go along with books. Beautiful children's books, by the way. I don't know if you can see Princess Monroe on my shelf in the back, but amazingly beautiful satin-covered princess books, which are great. Cards, CDs, journals. What else are you guys doing for people?
So thank you very much for the intro.
Sorry, I just scooped right in there.
So books are still a big part of our business. We still do print a ton of books. So hardcover, softcover, children's books, all sorts of books, cards, like you said, card decks, coaching products, booklets, card decks, if we go back to that when we get there, so it ties in together with the whole book thing, because most card decks have a little booklet. We can do small little booklets that go with the card deck, so books are still a big part. Flash drives now, because CDs and DVDs, it's interesting, people think that those are gone, but they are still a very big part of our business. We ship thousands of CDs and DVDs every month. And flash drives are great. They're just a little more pricey than the CDs and DVDs, but we're doing a lot of really fun projects with audiobooks now or complementary products that go on a flash drive. And we actually have a little pocket that can go in the front of a book. So it holds the little wallet card flash drive, and so we put a little pocket, put the flash drive in the front cover of the book. So you get this really nice little package with your book. So we're doing some really fun things with that. And then our big, kind of our new focus this year is planners and journals. We've always done planners and journals, but I think there's I think printed products have come and gone, like newsletters came and went. We still do a ton of newsletters. But planners, people kind of got away, I think, for a while from written planners, went to like Google Calendar and also. And I don't think people realize that writing is just a huge part of keeping track of your life, whether that's a journal, combination, or a planner. So planners are a big part of our business. So I know we're going to talk about that, and journals. So yeah, we do, and then we do we have a warehousing. So if you've got products that need to be shipped, but we don't produce them, we will still hold them and ship them for you. So we have an inventory management program. We have warehousing space. So we ship a lot of stuff that we actually don't even produce.
It's so great. And I want to, for anybody who's like, whoa, why do I need all of that stuff? I want to just take a jump back and say, if you're brand new and you've never published a book before,
right?
Take it down the nonfiction road first and then fiction. So when you go through this route of self-publishing, you're taking on the entire role that a publisher would do for you if you were to go with one of the big traditional publishers, which is sending out books to people, which is selling them from your website, which is managing all of the back end and all of these types of things. So one of the things that we have found through Cat Biggie Press and through all of our clients is so useful with Vervante is the ability to print a large quantity and have them warehoused so that when we have orders come in through our website, we're not like literally ordering a book or taking it from our stash and putting it in an envelope and taking it to the post office and things like that can take a lot of time. So a lot of time when you get down to it. But then there's all the things like, I'm sure you've received a book from an author and it comes with a nice little printout of follow me here or join me at this event or a postcard or a nicely branded note card and it says thank you so much, all of these things. Those add like the nice touch when authors are sending out things for either clients or fiction books or whatever it is. There's super nice touches that you can add to it, and Vervante does all of these things too. So tell us a little bit about that part.
Yeah, so we
didn't include.
Right. No, you did a great job. So so if you're just starting out, it does seem like, why would I need all that? But even so, I guess I would say think Etsy. Yeah. What we do is kind of give the Etsy, we can give the Etsy, I personally wrap this as an author, but you really didn't. So if you want your book, for example, we do some of our journals and planners, customers can send us, let's say you want your journal wrapped in gold tissue paper. So you want it to look like it's a gift, that it came from you, but you didn't really wrap it in tissue paper. We did. So you can send us tissue paper. Maybe you want to include a pen if it's a journal product, or you want to include, we've got customers that create little boxes that include a t-shirt and a pen. We don't produce those things, but we assemble it, make it look pretty, and ship it to your customer. So even if it's just one, I don't want people to think that you've got to be big, because you don't. We'll do one. So if you want to send us 5 t-shirts for your first 5 people, you want us to roll up a t-shirt and ship it with your book, we can totally do that. So whether you're just starting out or you are big, we kind of have a solution for everybody. So
and back it up even more simple than that. If you just want to be able to sell your books off of your website and don't
exactly
go to the post office every time.
Exactly. So, and any shop. So one of the other unique things we do that if somebody's just starting out. So any shopping cart, there's no preference. We don't have a preference. You can use any shopping cart that's out there, and we'll automatically process, print, and ship your order from any shopping cart. So it's really, really easy on the back end for us. The hard part is for the author to write the book, get the book ready for print, then get their customers. We'll help you on the back end, print it, get it shipped, and delivered to the customer.
Yeah, it's a great service to do that, because I don't think, some people are if you are a full-time author and this is your jam and you love to write personal notes every single time and you love that process, then that's fine. But for me, it would be a nightmare, because I would be 3 weeks later, people would be like, I haven't received my book yet. And it's because I didn't get to the post office.
Well, and it's really not, honestly, it's really not a good use of somebody. Just the idea of having the right envelopes, boxes, international forms, postage, that's just not a good use of anybody's time. And literally, we don't make any money on that part of our business. We there's a small fee to cover the handling and the box or the envelope, and we don't mark up postage. So we do, when I started this business, that part of the business, I know postage is super expensive. So we never mark up postage, and we don't make any money on the handling fees. We make our money on the volume of stuff we do. Right. So if everybody does one, then we make money, you know. Right. So so it's not that part of it. I would just say, if you think it's going to save you money doing your own padded mailer and envelope and taking it, it's really not a good use of your time.
Well, not only that, but when you choose the warehousing option and do books in bulk, you can get a better per book cost.
And we're talking bulk, not
right.
Thousands.
Right.
25, 50. We're not talking tens of thousands of books you got to print with us, and then we'll store them to get a good price. Right. Print on demand is the most expensive printing option. It just is expensive. Having us set up for one is expensive. We'll do it for you, no problem, but it's just not the cheapest way to go. But even if we printed 25 books and hold them for you, there's no storage fees. Right. So even if you could commit to 25 of something, it's going to save you money on the unit cost of printing.
Right, exactly. Okay, so speaking of costs and expenses and all of these other things, this is the way that I want to go with this interview, is talking about other ways that authors can make money for when they're writing and selling books. Because I think one of the biggest misnomers that a lot of authors come into a situation with is that I'm going to write and publish this book, which is an amazing book, and they almost are always amazing books.
Yes.
But without an audience, without a huge platform, without a lot of marketing, without a lot of things happening, it's very, very, very difficult to sell the book. So then, you have to do the work. You have to do the work, and you have to do the platform. But there are a lot of fun other ways that you can make money to go along with book sales that are fun and creative. And I would love for you to just tell us about some of the product. You went through a list of them, but now let's talk about them from a way of how you support that writer business.
Yes. Yes. Okay, awesome. So a lot of books that we print and distribute are how-to, helpful, and they have nuggets of information inside that if you pull those out and create a card deck, for example, that is, whether it's motivational, inspirational thoughts for the day, or it's a how to do something, we've got writers who have books on how to write a book, how to do certain things. So if you can pull those nuggets out and put them on a card deck, everybody learns differently, uses information differently. So if you have a book and then a complementary companion deck of cards that maybe they're just thought starters. Maybe it's just a word or it's something on a card deck. But other products that we have, the cards actually are part of the program. So you actually can write on the cards as maybe like thought starters, but you write your thoughts, like whatever that is. So a card deck is a great way to add value to the book, and then you sell it as a bundle. So now you're not just selling a book for $20, but you're selling this book and a card deck, and then you can make a little more money selling it as a bundle. You can still sell your book, but then you can still sell the card deck separately. But if you bundle them together, you have this real valuable product. Mm-hmm. So we have really fun ways to package the cards, whether that's and cards can be printed on demand. So you don't have to print thousands of them, or we can print short runs. They can be printed any size, any number of cards. So it's kind of like the way we print books and other products. There's no rules. So if you want 25 cards or you want 90 cards, and we have decks that are, our authors are also artists. So their cards incorporate their art or their message, so lots of really fun ways to use cards in your business.
And cards are just like the beginning. I mean, for me. So one of the, and I want to brag about Cindy as a person here as well, because I have a nonprofit for grieving mothers. Because for those of you who aren't familiar with the beginning of my story, my whole writing began with the loss of one of our infant daughters, and writing our first book, Sunshine After the Storm, a survival guide for the grieving mother, and then eventually creating a nonprofit to support grieving parents out of that. Well, I think it's been a little over a year ago now, I put out a comment on my Facebook page that I was behind on sending out packages and that we needed some support and blah, blah, blah. And, trying to get people to donate to the nonprofit. And Cindy offered us free printing of our book because she was moved by our story. So
yes, absolutely.
I appreciate that so much. That generosity went a long way in my heart. And it's been wonderful. We've been able to donate more books to hospitals and to bereavement groups and to all those kind of situations. So it's been lovely. But I am at it. So let me wrap this back up to the writing side and the profiting from it, because it costs a lot of money to send care packages. So we're always looking for good things to put in the care packages to support our mothers, but also ways that we can fund this initiative, because we don't charge. They are completely free to the recipient, completely. So I'm looking, like, the idea of cards is wonderful, but greeting cards.
Yes.
Things to put inside of them. And you all print some beautiful greeting cards.
Yes. So yes, we've got customers who, like I said, are artists, and so you can take your art and we can turn it into 8x10 prints, deck of cards, greeting cards. And greeting cards can be one at a time. We can print one at a time, or a bundle, like a little box. So we have a little nice little box like you would get in a retail space, and then you can sell. So in your case, Alexa, you're going to be part of it could be the greeting card, could be part of a product, or it could be the product.
Right.
So the greeting cards could be something that you include, with something else, like your little gift, or you sell your greeting cards. So yes, so whether it's a card deck or greeting cards, those are really popular and awesome products to build your business.
And another product that we were just talking about, and I told her we should continue this conversation once we were recording, because
Yep.
This is something that I also want to do for my business. And I highly encourage my clients to think of other ways that they can expand their business and bring in more people to buy products to help them fund their business. Because
Yes.
at the end of the day, even passion products need to be paid for. Even things like this, somebody has to pay for the time and the energy and all those types of things. So I mentioned our children's book that we had printed through Vervante, Princess Monroe and Her Happily Ever After. And we want to put together a cute journal for little girls who are learning about being their true selves and all of these types of things. So we were talking about that. But I also want to do, this is a journal that I received from at a workshop, and it's got like daily mantras and inspired action lists and all of these things. And it's just beautiful, beautiful. You can do your daily tracker and daily intentions. It's this nice, this is not something that Cindy printed, but this is something I'm going to do for me. So just to clarify that. But what'd you call this? Wiro?
Wiro. That's Wiro binding. Mm-hmm.
And the nice thick cover. So let's talk about these journals and how people use them.
So workbooks, journals, and planners, I think, are awesome. Also companion products if you've written a book. And I was just talking to another customer on the phone yesterday. We were talking about how to take her book and make it, again, instead of trying to just sell that book, how did she make more money selling a product, a kit? So she's going to take her book, which is kind of finding your passion. She's written a book about finding your passion. So she's going to take nuggets from that, create it like a card deck, like we just talked about, but also a workbook. Because even in her book, she walks you through steps. But I think people, respond to information differently. So she creates a workbook, just repurposing content, not starting over, not creating new, but repurposing what she's already written, create a workbook. Then you can create this kit. So now you've got your book, a card deck, and a workbook, which has lots more value than just a book. Right. So your retail price, or for that bundle, for that kit, is much greater, and you're going to make a lot more profit and you're not going to compete with other books traditionally published, where the margins are pretty skinny on trying to sell just a book. So you've got this great kit. So journals, workbooks, planners, spiral bound, that option that Alexa just held up, that book is Wiro bound. We do that. We do make it, again, lots of flexibility in size, number of pages. So what Alexa wants to do is create this kind of planner journal combination thing, which is really popular and really awesome. And one of the things we're really going to focus on this year as a company. There's lots of great ways we can bind it. You can print in color, black and white, combination, black and white and color. We have options for the type of cover. So, I would just tell everyone, if planners aren't part of your business, whether you're a coach, so like even in Alexa's business, coaching people on getting their book written, we have customers that have created planners that are personalized, that you coach somebody through your program. So in the planner, you write, okay, month 1, this is what you should be working on. Month 3. So when somebody's going through their daily planner, they're also being reminded of the program that they're part of, or the coaching program that they're
That's
right.
Such a good idea.
Exactly right.
I'm sitting here thinking, I know what I'll be doing when I get
Right. So exactly. So if you had let's say you had a 12-month planner, Alexa, and you're coaching somebody through the writing process in the planner. When they open that up every day, they're going to see what those tasks are. And I would recommend you create an undated planner so anybody can start anytime. Right. So there's not like a 2019 planner. You fill in your own, days on the calendar, but the content's still relevant. So whether you start in July or you start in January, month 1 for Alexa's program is still month 1. Right. So as they're going through their daily journaling or planning process, they see Alexa's information right there in the planner of what they should be working on.
Yeah.
Planners are big.
Yeah. And if you're a fiction writer and you're sitting here thinking, I don't know how this applies to me, I just want to back up again to talk about some of the ideas that we were brainstorming. Cindy and Jody Smith, the author of Princess Monroe, and I were brainstorming, like having personalized envelopes that they would go out in, and having stickers with Princess Monroe, and doing a coloring book to go along with the children's book. And don't think, well, I didn't write a children's book, I can't have a coloring book, because lots of adults like to color. And
you can incorporate coloring pages into your planner, into your journals. And again, it's it's all if you're a fiction writer, this might not be exactly what you're thinking, but if you've got any sort of creativity or a business or coaching or whatever you want to do, these are all ideas that you can incorporate in a different way, whether that's a journal or, like we said, a planner, card decks. I think those are all things that it doesn't ever stop at a book. Right. It never stops at a book. It might start with a book, but it never really ends there. So there's so many fun things that we can work on, and just to make that book just a little bit different or better. And again, I'd go back just to the whole Etsy thing. That whole concept is so cool about how it seems homemade, but not everything on there is homemade. It just gives you the appearance of, it's wrapped in tissue, so it's homemade and shipped to me from the author. No, we can do that for you, right? Or we put a sticker in there. So I would just say, you can get very creative. And I love this part of my business where I get to brainstorm with authors and customers about, I've got this idea, or I've got this book, what else can we do? So that's the best part of my job.
One of the things that I was talking with someone else is the idea of building courses and other programs or things like that you can help, even at fiction or nonfiction. Like, we see a lot of fiction writers branch off into helping people to be a book coach, or to start the outline of their book, or to all of these different things. So there's so many different ways that you can that you can make money, even no matter what type of book that you wrote, to supplement your book sales.
Exactly. And a book coaches, so once you've gone through this process the first time, there's a lot to it. And so then you've got to, you realize, I really have a lot of information here I could share with other people. So book coaches are a big part of our business as well, because once you've done this, you can do it for somebody else. And we have tools set up that you can help somebody else through it. And then once you get them to the printed phase, you can set it up with us and then hand them off, and we take it from there. So we're just kind of part of an extension of our book coaches team. So they, take it from manuscript to print, and then from that point, we take care of the customer. So if you're a book coach, you're handing them off to somebody that they're going to be taken care of.
Let's talk a little bit about the logistics, because I know you've had to hold my hand quite a bit through the process, because I'm not a graphic artist by any means. I hire all of that stuff out. I send somebody else along, but it does boggle my mind a little bit. If I was coming to you and I was like, okay, I want to do these cards. I have no idea how to take these daily affirmations out of my head and make them into a beautiful little card. What would the process be for someone new to you?
So there's a couple things we can't. So a lot of times customers have friends, or they have some graphic design background, so I don't know if you guys have heard of Canva. I'm sure everybody, that's a really popular kind of wannabe graphic design program that, you know what I mean? You don't have to be a graphic designer
right.
to know to use Canva. So if you like that kind of stuff, and you want to create your own card deck, Canva seems to be I have never used it, but I talk to a lot of customers that use it. All we need, so if you want to be a do-it-yourself kind of graphic designer, you can create a card deck. And you could send us, what we really just need is a PDF, and we can print the cards. Or if you want help, we have graphic designers on staff. And I don't love that part of our business because it's hard.
It is hard.
It's a very hard business. Or we can recommend you. We have a couple great graphic designers that we can recommend you to. So I would tell somebody who's thinking about a card deck, the first thing is, if you write down what you want, I mean, you still have to kind of think of it like a book. You've got to get that content out of your head. So you'd want to write down what you want on each card, kind of like a manuscript, card 1, card 2. Then from a design perspective, it's really kind of like creating a book cover, figuring out what's the message you want in that design. And with our cards, they don't have to be a typical like playing card where the back of every card has to be the same. For us, if you want to design 30 different cards or 50 different cards, we don't care. They can be all different or all the same, or color coordinated based on the topic of the card deck. So I always tell, and I'm sure you do too, Alexa, if you're not a graphic designer, you probably need to hire somebody.
Absolutely. Especially when it comes to things that are
right. It's a huge time suck if you think you can do it, whether it's Canva or PowerPoint or whatever you think you want to use. It's just a huge, I would just say it changes. When I see book covers or card decks that are professionally designed versus somebody who thinks it's a pretty big difference. And, if you're going to sell this and you want to make money, I would just say, unless you really know what you're doing, just hire somebody. And you don't have to pay a ton, or you can pay a ton if you want, depending on what you really want in that card deck. But we need a PDF. So however you want to get to that PDF, we're good with that.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because it is just to really hit that point again. If you are doing something that is visually appealing, that people have a certain expectation of, whether we know it or not, we have a certain expectation of what a journal is going to look like. We have a certain expectation of what a card deck of daily affirmations or whatever it is. We have a certain expectation of what a greeting card will look like. So, if doing something that's new and outside of the box isn't always a good thing.
Right.
You're trying to sell something like this.
Right. I totally agree. So let's talk about, back on that idea of the planner. So if somebody is listening and wants to do a planner, we've got, one of the things we started a couple years ago is we create a planner every year. This year we're creating an undated version as well. We will give you the InDesign files. So back on the whole graphic design thing, we will give you the foundation. And it's nice. Huge. It's a lot of money, and I invest in it. I invest in this every year with our design team. We'll give you the InDesign files. It's the foundation of a planner. But what I've seen come out of this is so exciting, because we've got customers who take that and then totally personalize it. So like I was just talking about, if Alexa were to take her coaching program and then personalize it, so you can take the foundation of what we design and completely change it. But it gives you the starting point of a planner, which is it seems like, oh, that's no big deal. It's huge.
It is a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge
So
deal.
just from a layout standpoint and everything, and then with our InDesign files, you can change the size, you can
Yes,
change the
yes.
covers, you can personalize it, add journaling pages, add coloring design pages. So if anybody's listening and wants to talk about planners, or combine it into a combination planner journal, we've got customers that turn it into what they call a playbook, which is like a, how to run your life, all this good stuff they put in there. So we've got great stuff on our website if people are or set up a call and I'll be happy to brainstorm, but we've got great ideas for planners.
Is that, can they get that file from your website?
So if you go on our website at vervante.com, and then there is a link at the bottom to look at our bookstore. I'm going to change all this year, but so if you're listening to this, then it's going to be different. But at the bottom of the page, there's a link to our bookstore. If you go in our bookstore, there's a link to publishing samples. And on that page, we've got all these really fun things you can buy as samples. So whether that's a little hardcover book or a card deck. So if you're thinking about doing something, we've got samples there that you can buy, and then we can chat about them or whatever. But there's some planners on there. If you look in there, we've even got stickers. So we did a custom sticker page, and you can, we've got really fun ways to add stickers to products. So you can either do a custom page, or we've got some really cost-effective ways you can add stickers to your planner without creating a custom die, which can be kind of expensive for stickers. But so planners, if anybody's listening and wants to talk about planners, I'm all over it. I love this topic. We do really fun stuff, and they're on our website.
Well, yes, I will be going to download all of those things because they're so neat. I mean, everybody, it doesn't matter who you like. I don't know any woman. I do not know any woman who does not like a nice planner. I don't.
Right.
I mean, so
we've got really, I mean, people get really creative, whether you're in the fitness industry or you're a financial planner. We've got one of our customers, she took our planner. She's a financial planner, and she incorporated in every month, your budgeting, keeping track of so you can make this planner like this comprehensive solution based on what your product line is, or what you coach, or what you sell. So it can be a really fun way to turn what you do into a product that's a planner that everybody uses.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Don't be surprised if by the time this goes live, if I have a planner out there to go with my book launch coaching.
Yes, right?
Now we've got a big goal to try and get that done by March.
Yeah, I'll send you the InDesign files.
Sounds awesome. No, it's so great. And I want to kind of circle back around to where we started the conversation. And that is, well, one, have big dreams, have big goals, have big hopes, but also be very realistic. I mean, Cindy has been in this industry for a long time. I've been in it for almost a decade. That what we see is just incorrect expectations, I think, when you come into selling a book. Now, and it depends on what you're using it for. Like people who are writing a book to go as a complementary part of their coaching business, or they're like, it fits right in. And that's what the expectation is. And there's no problem with that. People who are trying to get speaking engagements and they know that most of their sales are going to come back of the room, or, no issue there. It's where someone publishes an amazing book and thinks they're going to be a New York Times bestseller the next month, but they don't have a large audience and they don't have a platform, and that's where there's a big disconnect. And then people panic because they're like, oh my gosh, I invested.
Yes.
And how am I going to make the money back if nobody's buying the book? And I would say two ways. One, work on growing that author platform. This is the great thing about indie publishing, is that you can launch and relaunch and do whatever you want to with your book whenever you want to. But two, come up with these supplemental ideas that you can sell alongside, that maybe somebody doesn't want to buy your book, but maybe they do want a nice planner, or maybe somebody just wants daily affirmation cards, or just wants a nice set of greeting cards and they love your brand, or you never know where those sales are going to come from.
Exactly. And I would and the other thing I think that we touched on briefly is, so what I've learned in this business is the most important thing you can do for your business, whether you're an author, a coach, is your subscriber list, because your email list is the key to your success. So if you sell on your website, whatever that is, coaching, a book, a deck of cards, I would just tell people, you got to capture, to make the most money, I would say capture that email address and sell from your own website. It really isn't hard. If people think it sounds really complicated, there are so many easy website tools and shopping cart tools that if you can write a book, you can have a website and a shopping cart. It's easy. And then we'll help you from there.
Yes, that's what I was going to say, is that your team has been very, very good at hand-holding us through the entire process whenever we've needed it. And it's back to the whole like Amazon thing. But the nice thing about Cindy is that her team can provide you the whole gamut. If you want to be on Amazon and selling on your website, you can still do those things.
Do both. Yep.
Still, have all of the things. What else? What else do you want to tell them about?
I would can we talk about one other fun little thing right now, which is subscription boxes or VIP boxes. So we do custom packaging. So if you're thinking about, I wouldn't necessarily create a custom box for a book, but if your book is part of a product or a kit, we print really awesome little boxes. So maybe you want to have a VIP box, that in that box is your book and a deck of cards and a velvet bag, but you want the box actually printed. So we print really nice little either 2-piece boxes or little hinge boxes. We even print corrugated shipping boxes that are a little bit more pricey, but for like gift boxes, we do really fun subscription products and coaching. Like if you've got a coaching program and somebody, you want to send out the planner and a deck of cards and you want it in a custom box and you want it wrapped in gold tissue paper, all that fun stuff. We can brainstorm all this really fun stuff we can do for you. But so boxes and packaging are a really fun thing to do with your product line.
Yeah. And it's so cool too. I've been in a couple of coaching programs where you receive a gift like that as part of the cost of the coaching program. And it's a nice touch. If you're doing a coaching program and you have a product like that you say, it's a really nice, sets you apart from the rest of the crowd.
Yep.
Just nice.
It doesn't have to be crazy expensive.
No,
it can look really nice. It's just it's more in the packaging and the presentation. So, and just one other thing we haven't really talked about much, Alexa, which is, I don't know, in this audience, if you're just a first-time author, but if you're an established author or you're looking to do something else, one of the other popular programs where we do a lot of is free plus shipping offers. So if you're trying to build your funnel or you're kind of more established and you want to give away, everybody gets them. And everybody if you think about it for a second, it's really not free plus shipping. It's just the way it's packaged and marketed. But we do a ton of these. So depending on if you're trying, maybe you want to upsell your book is the final offer, but you want to give away a part of your book. And we do a little booklet. Maybe it's just an excerpt, or it's so we take part of the book, make it a little booklet. So it gives you a teaser of what's in the bigger product, or maybe the booklet is part of the kit. So we print like the little booklet that's maybe it's 40 or 50 pages, and you sell it for $7.95 or $9.95. We print those, you ship those, and then the upsell in your funnel is maybe they get the book or maybe they get the kit. So as they're checking out, they bought this $9.95 product, but oh, by the way, if you buy that, maybe we'll give you the book now for this or the kit. So I would just, if you're new at this thing and you're like, what the hell is she talking about? But as you get going, or a more established, free plus shipping offers is just a kind of a marketing way, I think, to sell a booklet or a part of your book that builds it's back to that building your list, creating interest, getting them to buy something bigger. So for $7.95 or $9.95, whatever you want to sell it for, it just gets them into something bigger that you're offering, a coaching program or a kit or something else. So we do a ton of free plus shipping offers.
Yeah, the sky is really the limit on things that you can do to expand your business and have fun. I mean, these are fun things for women. The idea of creating little boxes with gold paper.
Right. Right. It's really fun.
I'm a girly girl and I find it fun, and
Right. Right. Right.
if you don't do anything else after this conversation, you should go over to Vervante's website and sign up on their email list, because
Yes.
Cindy and her team send out weekly newsletters with lots of great information on publishing and tips and all kinds of stuff on all of these things. And
yeah, so I would say if you're listening and you're interested, do sign up for the newsletter for sure. We do, and we offer great advice and tidbits of information, new products. The other thing I would say is if you're interested, we will send you a free catalog. If you go to our website, at the bottom of the page, you can just sign up. We'd be happy to send you a free catalog. I would just tell you, it's kind of like one of those things when you get to shop without buying. So it gives you lots of ideas it's pretty, and it gives you lots of ideas on how to expand your business, things we can do for you. And then the other thing, again, like I said, this is my favorite part of the business, which is brainstorming and getting creative. On our website, if you hit the Contact Us button, there's a link to schedule a call. I love to talk to customers about what they're doing, what they need, how we can help, what other things can we do for you. So if you'd like, schedule a call. I would be happy to talk to you about your ideas, what you're thinking, how we might help you, all that good stuff.
I don't know when you sleep, because
I don't. I'm great. I need like 4 hours a night. It's great. Thank God.
Oh my gosh, I wish that was me. I'm like, 9 hours, please.
Oh yeah.
No. Well, thank you so much again for your time,
yes,
for all that you've invested in us as an organization. And
my pleasure.
We love partnering with you. I can't wait to get my journals, and it's great. Go check out vervante.com.
Thank you.